Hi everybody, TJ Mac Vintage Cards here, and today I'm doing episode 4 of If I Could Build Just One Case, where I'm going to take 30 cards from my collection, and if those were the only 30 cards I could keep, it would be these ones, and I will give the reasons why. So just to recap quickly, the first 3 episodes I did Cleveland Quartet, 4 Cleveland players that my father-in-law grew up admiring, and these are 4 that I just want to have in my collection to reflect that. Then I have Artistic Beauties, which was the second episode where I picked 5 cards. These 2 here, Sammy Baugh, Tony Canadeo, Paul Wayner, Jimmy Fox, and Terry Sawchuk, which were just 5 just beautiful cards that I just visually find appealing. And then episode 3 was my father's favorites with Al Kaline, Mickey Mantle, and Bobby Orr. 3 players I like as well. And in the case of Mickey Mantle, that's one that even connects with my son, so it's a third generation appeal to it. So those 3 certainly go in the case. And then today are 3 players that I chose just because of the adversity they had to overcome in their careers. And I just have a lot of admiration for these 3 men right here because of what they had to endure. So let me first talk a little bit about Roger Maris. I picked the 61 Topps, of course, because that was the year that he broke Babe Ruth's single-season home run record. And he obviously had to endure quite a bit of adversity that year, having to chase a baseball deity and also competing with Mickey Mantle, who most of the fans and even his own teammates wanted to break the record. So he really had to endure all that. But really beyond that, and I showed this in my video profile I did of Roger Maris, just what it did to him personally, how it aged him, I believe, over the years. And I also think it contributed to ending his life early because he never got to really appreciate what he did. I mean, Major League Baseball had an asterisk, as we know, associated with that record. And he died before that asterisk was lifted in the early 90s. So it's just a terrible thing that he did such a great achievement, and he never ever really got to celebrate that, and the baseball community as a whole never really celebrated that. Sure, some recognized it, but many didn't. And what I find is the irony today is the asterisk that was on his record then, what you could say there would be another asterisk now showing that he might be the true home run leader just because of the steroids and things like that. I'm not here to really give my opinions on that, but that's certainly the beliefs of some in the baseball community because of the fact that those records are viewed to be tainted. So Roger Maris definitely one of those guys that would be in my case. I just have the utmost respect for him and who he was, and this card captures that time. Next up is Jackie Robinson. This is only Jackie Robinson card that I own from his playing days. And it's one that I really like a lot because it just kind of captures who he is there, sliding in to the base. And then you got this great image of him smiling. Just a beautiful background shot with this great headshot that makes 56 Topps such a classic set. And you got his autograph right here. Jackie Robinson was just, certainly goes without saying, a magnificent person as a whole. Great baseball player. Had a break the color barrier, undergo physical and mental abuse to do it, and still perform at a high level. The tremendous amount of pressure this guy was under. I believe he died at 53 years old. Again, stress, to me, undoubtedly contributed to his early death. He was a 4-star, 4-sport athlete and just in phenomenal condition. And it just shows you what stress can do to a person. And he never really, I think the world was evolving certainly during his time within our country and how race relations were being treated. But the 60s were quite tumultuous, and he was certainly one of the people in the movement to bring greater diversity and rights to minorities in this country. So he had to endure that on his shoulders pretty much for his whole adult life. And that just became too much, I think, for him. And I just have so much admiration and respect for the person he is and what he had to endure, and certainly very fitting to be in my case as a tribute to the great person he was. And then lastly is Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron, of course, died this year. He had a long and I believe, healthy life, but he had to endure, similar to Roger Maris and even Jackie Robinson, right? The racism that some of the fans held at that time that wanted Babe Ruth to keep the record because of the color of his skin, but also because, similar to Roger Maris, you had Hank Aaron, who wasn't, Willie Mays with the big home run numbers some years, and Mickey Mantle, or a guy like that. He was just more of a steady, outstanding excellence every year, but his numbers, didn't jump out season to season like some of the other contemporaries he played with. So I think he had kind of a little bit of Maris there, and Jackie Robinson, of course, going on with him. That was, people didn't want to see him break that record. But what I do think that helped Aaron, that didn't help Maris and Robinson, is things relaxed over time with him as far as how he was viewed by many with the record. And I think he, of course, was revered later in his life. And I think that probably helped him as well. And everybody also deals with stress and things that they encounter differently throughout their life. But he's another person that just overcame great adversity and achieved the highest success. So these three men, hats off to them, as just great people and great players. So all worthy, definitely to be in my case, and I just love having them in my collection. So everybody have a great day, and stay tuned later for episode 5.